that the third stimulus package bill. Thank you, Brian, for coming to Purple Hawk. That was very quick. Everyone, welcome Brian to the family. Welcome, Brian, for becoming a family member of the Purple Power family. In tonight's evening's edition of Evenings Allied and Purple Power, we go over why the third stimulus package bill is still getting revised and how you could revise it as well. In the recording right before this on Evenings Allied, I went over the major development, which is the third stimulus package bill is now in the House of Representatives. It's now in the House subcommittees where they're working on the language and they're working on the numbers of the third stimulus package bill. They're working on them to get it done by the end of this week so that they can approve it on a subcommittee level by the end of this Friday. Then it'll be called for a vote in the House of Representatives next week. And that would then land in the Senate, where it could be passed by the end of next week and sent it on the President Biden's table by the weekend. But as Biden confirmed today, the provisions of the third stimulus package are still in flux. And with the subcommittees working on these provisions, what should be modified and what should stay and what should go. In this recording, I go over what are the 28 deal provisions of the third stimulus package, what is left out, what is not included, what should not be included, what should be taken out. And I also answer some of your 2,045 questions from last night's video on this channel. You drop some comments on Purple, and I'll be answering some of your questions as well. If you have questions in tonight's video, drop them in the comments below, and I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Whether you're a member or non-member, I answer everyone's questions on this channel. Meantime, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Subscribing is free. Just go to the front of the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that alert button so you get alert when another video comes up. And the next video after this will be at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when I deliver Hazard Pay as a taped but live chat show. I'll be in the chat. That'll be actually me chatting with you. Everyone welcome Candy to the family. Welcome, Candy. Brian, Karen. Oh, I guess there was some more before I came on live. Brian, Karen, Shelby, and now Candy. Welcome, Brian, Karen, Shelby, and now Candy to the family. If you want to become a member like Brian, Candy, Shelby, and Karen, click the link in the pinned comment to this video. Also at the top of the chat to become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Thank you for Candy, who I think just became a Purple Power. Very exciting. Members will, after this video, get a PDF posted again to the community page. Make sure you if you're a member, make sure you hit that alert, that bell on the front of this channel, because the bell sends you an alert to the email address you have on file that there's a new private message for members only on this channel. That's the way I get you in messages before anyone else. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that there's 28 items in the third stimulus package, which you're really only going to hear here because I've now scoped out. I've scoped out the competition. They don't have this 28 items. So and I've scoped out broadcast news, and they're not going over it either. The most that they ever talk about is sort of peripheral some things. And what I can do for you in this video is go over those 28 items, but more importantly, go over what you need to do as Purple Power. We already know our 3 hashtags. Hashtag FPUC Retro, R-E-T-R-O. Hashtag MSC, and hashtag SS200. We already know those, but there's a little bit more that needs to be done at the moment, and that items that need to be done is going into detail about where things need to be moved, modified, whether it's language or numbers. Let's get to our PDF right now. I'm looking at this at the number 1 PDF, which is the January 23rd PDF. Hazard Pay. At number 18, Hazard Pay private sector. If you tune into Hazard Pay every night at 10 p.m., you know why Hazard Pay is such a fascinating, compelling, and very important provision of a stimulus package. Because you worked during the pandemic and you risked your life and you should be compensated for Hazard Pay. But not everyone should be compensated for Hazard Pay. And how do you get Hazard Pay? How much do you have to get for Hazard Pay? Let's go through this item first of all. Hazard Pay is based upon the concept that you worked during the pandemic. So you would hope that the Hazard Pay provision does not take into consideration whether it was overtime or part-time or full-time or or long time. Because ultimately, if you worked, you worked. That's all it should matter. That's the first thing. But the bigger thing that you all know I'm about to say, because you've made about 800 recordings on hazard pay, is the big issue of who applies. Who applies? Angel, thank you for the dancing pair. Angel with the dancing pair, I appreciate it. Hey, Angel for the dancing pair. You may qualify for hazard pay. You may have worked. May qualify for every penny of that dancing pair. But if the boss is the one that's applying, this is a big issue. Thank you, Marcus, for becoming a purple power. Wow. Thank you, Marcus, for purple power. Wow, I think we got 2 purple powers in this chat already tonight. It's a problem when a bill says the boss applies for you, especially this late in the pandemic, because a lot of those bosses have lost their job, have lost their businesses. They've gone under, they've moved away. And you don't, and the reliance on the boss to apply for you is a big issue. And I think it was October of this year. We did a campaign in October about hazard pay, which was to say, hey, don't have the bosses apply for hazard pay. It should be the worker applies for hazard pay. Your money should not be dependent upon the boss applying for hazard pay. Now, let's assume that is a hazard pay provision that you're paid from the federal government. There's the possibility you've heard me talk about on this channel. Hey, Jessica, for another dancing pair. It's a pair with kisses. I love that. Thank you for the dancing pair. There's another way they may do the hazard pay. They may just require your boss to pay you hazard pay. I don't like that one. You know why I don't like that one? Because it presumes you're currently working. What if you were working, in January and now you've been laid off? Then you're not going to get a hazard pay. So, Purple Power, do your thing on hazard pay. If you have an opinion, make your opinion be heard. Who do you tag? Tag Nancy. Tag her chief of staff. Tag her communications director. Tag Rukanan. Tag the House leadership. You're tagging House representatives. Tag the House progressive. Tag AOC. You're tagging House members to make sure that they do things right. All right, next. The paid sick leave. The paid sick leave is wonderful. But ultimately, I think I heard someone on the video before this saying that we need some clarity about the paid sick leave. The paid sick leave basically says $1,400 a week, up to $1,400 a week, if you work but had to stay home because your child's school is closed. The child's healthy, you're healthy. Thank you, Kevin Lee, with some popcorn. I appreciate some popcorn. Kevin's giving me a lot of food tonight. First was some ice cream, now some popcorn. Next, some cheese. There's some pizza. This is all the food coming across the screen. You want to ensure that they do the paid sick leave correctly, because $1,400 a week. I've had viewers say, "Can I get some paid sick leave? I'm retired." No, because paid sick leave means you are sick from work. You're paid on a release from work. But what type of work? Here come the problems. What type of work qualify for paid sick leave? Is it only W-2 work, or is it also independent contractor work? Let me give you an example. What if a truck driver employs himself? He's his own business. What about an Uber Lyft driver? How do they get paid sick leave? This is the type of things that are really big issues when we're talking about paid sick leave. Business grant, business loan. Oh my goodness. Those have a big universe of stuff that got to get fixed. I'll get to them in a second. I'll also get to FPUC, and I'll get to the stimulus check, and I'll also get to the rent. But before that, let me get to the SSI and SSDI and Social Security and Railroad benefits, which you know exactly what I'm about to say about that. It's not in the 30-page summary, which I have to the 1,600, 6,000-page bill. SSI and SSDI is not mentioned in there. So you want to make sure that that is in there. The item you want to, and the way you make it clear is the $200, the hashtag SS200. What is hashtag SS200? Hashtag SS200 was started from this channel because The summary for the third stimulus package bill doesn't mention anything for the $200 on top of your existing SSI, SSDI, Social Security, SSA, VA, and veterans benefits. It doesn't mention anything on top of that. And so it's important to understand that if it's not mentioned in the summary, you want to hope that it's in there. Now let's turn back to businesses. Business grants is a big one. You want to make sure that this business grant is not dependent on a prior existing grant or not canceled out by a business grant. With 600 people in the room, I'll have an update for you at the 15-minute mark. The big one for business grants is if you got a $1,000 EIDL grant, you don't want that to cancel out your eligibility for a new business grant. Gene Crum just said, yes, hard, business grants. So if you got a $2,000 EIDL grant in 2020, you don't want that to cancel you out from getting a new business grant. So you need to be on social media and tagging them, say, hey, make sure this business grant, a lot of people can get it, because you don't want this business grant to only, be canceled, be blocked by something else that you gave us a little bit of money before. Business loan. I don't see Tia in the room yet, but that's the instrument that Tia likes. And the business loan, the most obvious thing about the business loan, this is so obvious, is that you don't want the business loan to exclude you based upon credit score. I did 1,000 videos about that on EIDL, and a lot of people were having problems with their credit score. You don't want your credit score to exclude you from a business loan. Remember, PPP does not require credit score, does not require collateralization, does not require, much of anything, as Joe Biden promises, casino business grants. So you want to be able to get that business loan if you promise to pay it back, and that's about it. I mean, you don't want to hear it's a 720 TransUnion credit score, because then you're like, what is this thing? Come on, Joe. Now let's go to the meat and potatoes in a second. The rent aid is the one that really needs to be done right. Rent aid is one that you hope that everyone can get, and get it in a way that if it's given to you or given to the landlord, that the landlord cooperates. There's been enough scenarios on this channel where people have gotten money given to the landlord and they said, no, thank you. What do you mean, no, thank you? No, thank you. At the midway mark of this video, thank you for joining me. I have a big update for you before we get into the big moolah, which is FPUC and UI and the stimulus check. Those are the items that you really need to step up for. This is Evenings LA, the continuation of a video before this. In the video before this, I told you that there's been an enormous turnaround, and that turnaround in the last half day, last 8 hours, is that the third stimulus package bill is now in the House of Representatives. The third stimulus package bill is now in the subcommittees of the House of Representatives, where they're working on the language, they're working on the numbers. And what I want you to do is start working on them, because they need to make sure they got everything right. Ultimately, Uncle Joe confirms that the provisions can be modified as so needed. Well, now we're going to go through where it's needed. And I need you to go on social media and take this video and share it, and use the hashtags #FPUC retro, #MSC, and #SS200, as Kalisha just did. But what is also important to do is send out any other message like hazard pay, like the issues of FPUC, so that you get that messaging really loud and clear. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Also, like this video, hit that alert button, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link is in the description, in the pinned comment, and also at the top of the chat. Hawk, Power, or Calcino VIP. And let's continue now, of course, with FPUC. I mean, there's so much with FPUC that has to be fixed. First, the number. $400. I mean, what is that? Where Where is the $400 coming from, Joe? Uncle Joe, you wrote $600 just 30 days ago, so give us $600. Nancy only won $600. I don't know who in the Democratic leadership won $600, wants $400. I don't know where this $400 came from, except, maybe Steve Mnuchin stole Joe Biden's printer and printed it out. And like it's so undemocratic to ask for $400. I don't every Democrat has always won $600 a week, so it doesn't make any sense. The next ones are the retroactiveness. Tad with the lemon, who is the lemon has some wings, Tad. The lemon's like, hey, I got wings. I got wings. I'm a lemon. I'm a lemon with wings. Winged lemon. That's very weird looking. I love it. This is such a funny character, the winged lemon. Oh my God. The FPUC should be $600 a week. I mean, what are we doing here? It's not. Why is it $400 a week? Everyone loves Tad's winged lemon. I do too. I just like that's a new one. Tad is just searching for those unusual those unusual lemons. Just throw Elliot a lemon. Just see how he reacts. Yes, I react when I see this bizarre looking flying lemon. Where's our FPUC retro, Uncle Joe? Someone just said, absolutely. Then we get to the retroness of the FPUC. It needs to be retro. Julio Pena. Everyone welcome Julio to the room. Mucho gusto. Everyone welcome Julio to the room. It's really important that the FPUC follow what was promised. FPUC retro. I think it's self-explanatory at this point. What's going on at FPUC? He is proposing FPUC forward, not retro, $400 a week. He's proposing UI forward, and he's proposing PUA forward all to September 2021. This was in essence cut out people's enhanced unemployment boost from all of the second half of 2020. Your last federal unemployment boost ended in July, so August, September, October, November, December would not be paid under this idea of just going forward. It doesn't make sense. Also, not making sense is the $400 a week. Every week that you go $400 a week instead of $600 a week, you lose $200 a week. You do $400 over 1 month instead of $600, you lose $800. You lose almost an entire week every time you do $400 instead of $600. It doesn't make sense. Let's turn to the stimulus check. The stimulus check is the one that no one understands what is going on, and I don't understand it either. The broadcast news is not doing a good job on this one. Broadcast news should be really ashamed. I mean, they seem to either not care, not know, or simply have forgotten what happened with the stimulus check. So they keep on talking about $1,400 stimulus check as though it's so wonderful, as though it's totally brand new, as though it's this, as that. And it's just not. Mainstream media is clueless. They are clueless. And there's so many articles. I'm not going to say channel because I don't want to get sued, but there's so many broadcast news channels today say $1,400 stimulus check. When would you get it? It's very exciting. There's going to be a new $1,400 stimulus check. No, I mean, where were you last December, reporters? I mean, this was last year's check. This is not this year's check. This is a leftover check. You have to keep on calling them. Someone just said. So let me answer some of your incredible over 2,000 comments from last night's video on this time slot. And if you have questions to today's video, drop in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Ronald Saxton says, we live in a backwards country. It's called Acrayima. Ronald Saxton, we live in a backwards country. It's called Acrayima. He spelled America backwards. Gene with the cat. Oh, meow. Meow, meow, meow to you, Gene. Happy Tuesday evening, Gene, with the meowing cat. We live in a backwards country. It's spelled America backwards. Okay, thank you. Edwina Borcherser. That's why we just take them out of office and start all over again. I think the American people would be better off on a more positive note. So Edwina says, "Hey, he's been for office for a week. Just start over again. Let's get a new government. A week of this has been enough. I'm ready for something new." Davina, I was expecting a stimulus on day one with the other executive orders. That's my fault, I guess. No, you weren't. That's not your fault at all. The What happened to kids' checks? Oh, someone just dropped a really good question. I answered it at the end of the video before this. It's a fake story. There is no kids' checks. It's a made-up story. Joe never promised it. It's based upon a fake news article in a major number 2 or 3 news um, paper. The newspaper was packed up by a number 3 news broadcaster, and that was it. Then it was everywhere. It's totally false. Joe never promised that. It's never happening, and people keep on, and channels are running it like it's gravy with hash browns. Kathy King, they will say anything to get your vote. Carolyn Mano, what's going on? We need stimulus checks. We were promised by Biden another bunch of politics by the Democrats. They're very good at lying. I love that. Beth and Mike Watkins, action shows the kind of people are in our government. Andrea Apalando, we must trust in God. We cannot trust them. They'll come through in their good time. Josie Gonzalez, they need to do what they said they were going to do and keep their word. Americans have been more than patient in this horrible crisis. Their children, people are losing their homes and they have no food. It's time to step up. Well said. Dennis Conley. Well, let me think about why I would hide something. So this was yesterday when I was talking about why is Joe hiding the bill. Now, if you haven't noticed, I haven't mentioned the obvious thing. We don't have the bill still. Nancy's subcommittees do have the bill, but we still don't have the bill. And yesterday I was wondering, okay, why do we not have the bill? If it's so wonderful, show us the bill. And unless it's not wonderful. So this was what Dennis Conley said. Well, let me think about why I would hide something. No good reason other than I was hiding a gift for someone, and I'm sure that does not apply. I love that. Thank you for the great comment, Dennis. Patsy Maines, thank you, Elliot. I wish everyone a blessed evening, and thank you for the update. Well, thank you, Patsy. Gaines Creations, I appreciate your being here with us. Oh, I appreciate you too. Lulu Bell, from this day on, I will be protesting the stamp. That is more important than us always pasting my stamps on and upside down. Oh my goodness. If you did not know what she's talking about, yesterday I talked about Joe Biden did not have a stimulus bill for you, but had a new stamp. And I said, why are we doing new stamps, Joe? There's no stimulus check to put the stamp on. Joe's doing a stamp yesterday, but not a stimulus check. And so who is that? That's Lulu Bell. She said she's protesting that stamp. She won't be licking it anytime soon. I won't be licking that stamp either. So I guess I'm joining the protest. I'm not licking that stamp, Joe. I want the stimulus stamp. I don't want that stamp. Frank Garcia. He's a politician, not a businessman who was voted out. There you go. Wow. Here you are. What a night it is. I won't be licking any Joe Biden stamp unless there's a stimulus check in there. How do I get that donut emoji? I'm being lazy. Phyllis. So Phyllis, underneath your name where you're about to type, there's a little smiley face. You click that smiley face and it opens a series, a line, and it says LA8. And at there you see the custom emojis. The more of you that subscribe and become members of this channel, the more emojis I'm allowed to upload. That's sort of that's the way YouTube works. So the more subscribers, the more members, the more emojis I can make. So we getting that $1,400 stimulus check or not? Yes, that's currently where Joe has you at. A measly $1,400 stimulus check from last year that was supposed to be sent last year in addition to a new $2,000 stimulus check. Instead, he's taken out the $2,000 stimulus check and just giving you the $1,400 stimulus check. Unless you're adult dependent, the $1,300. If you have any questions or comments in the screen, drop them in the comments of the screen as members. I'll answer your questions as well. And I'm sure you do have some questions about stamps and things like that. LA, did you see the debit card envelope they sent? Yeah, I feature that all weekend long. I have it right here, actually. I did that all weekend long. I did that like 3 or 4 videos. This is the debit card envelope. I did, God, I think I did for 2 days, actually. Yeah. So, and by the way, the debit card's actually more black than blue. It's actually very black. Donuts. So somebody. MSC. Yes. Had my bacon quota this morning. That's not fair. You didn't leave me any bacon. Viewers are sort of rubbing in my face. Boycott the new stamp, says another viewer. Boycott that stamp. Yeah, no, how dare you do a stamp? I'm going to boycott that stamp. On the stamp, sorry. I'm late, sorry. Yeah, miss the stamp, miss the bacon, miss the donuts. Yum donuts. Sue Loin will activate your card at the casino. With the SSI people beginning the card soon. Uh, what card? If you're referring to the debit card, if you, for the $600 stimulus check, you're either getting it by paper check or by debit card or by direct deposit. Thank God for the check. Please tag the retro for FPUC guys, for all of us. Tell the post office not to sell them. Oh, the stamp. We're talking about the stamps again. What would ranges of apartments? What's the stamp going to have on it? I don't know. I forgot. We need both the $1,400 and $2,000, says Gary. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need my check. Just fixing the fix-in unemployment. No matter how you got it, it will be before, right? Sandy, oh yes. So the way you got the first stimulus check is not going to be necessarily the way you get the second stimulus check. You got the first one by paper. You may get this one by debit card. You got it by direct deposit. This one may come by debit card. So everything is totally different. Keep it all in the mail. And there you are. Boycott stamps. We need more stimulus. Yeah, I mean, you're making more stamps for us, Joe. Maybe that's because you want to send us some more stimulus checks. uh, I was told SSI people get direct deposit. Well, you were told wrong. Sorry. I mean, that's why you don't listen to other channels or whoever, people on the street or wherever. It's just not wrong. It's not right. There's nothing that SSI people get particularly unique to them, other than the fact that if they already getting benefits as a non-payee, as a non-dependent, then it would land the way they're getting their benefits every month. Hey, Kevin Lee, thank you for the super chat. Now we're doing hamburgers. So I gone from ice cream to popcorn to now hamburgers. Yes, there we go. Thank you. It's a whole meal tonight. Look at it. So if you're on SSI and you receive your benefits by debit card, then sure, you'll get it by debit card. If you receive your SSI benefits by paper check, you're going to get it by paper check. Hey, Chris, everyone, welcome Chris to the family. Welcome, Chris, to the family. Thank you for becoming part of this incredible community at the 28-minute mark, just getting in. If anyone else wants to join right now, because we're almost at the end of tonight's recordings. I'll be back I'll be back on a taped recording, but I'll be live chatting with you on Hazard Pay at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which on the East Coast is 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back in the live chat on Hazard Pay. And if you remember, you can join me then as well. Meantime, let me give you the big update as we have now over 1,000 people in the room. The big update as you sit here tonight is that the third stimulus package bill is now in the House. It's in subcommittees. Those subcommittees are working on it right now. And as they work on it, you need to work on them. You need to work on them. Hashtag Suzanne with a lemon playing the ukulele, playing the clarinet. Thank you, Susanna, for the lemon who's playing the musical lemon. You need to work these House representatives. Tag Pelosi, tag her chief of staff, tag her Tag the progressive, U.S. progressives. Tag the top Democrats in the House, because they're the ones that are making the determination of what is in your House bill. And you need to use hashtags like FPUC Retro, like MSC, like SS200. And if you have other things to say, then say those as well. How do we tag them? Great question, David. To tag is you use the at symbol, at, and then right after it you type their Twitter handle. So you need to first find their Twitter handle, and then you do it. So LA Twitter handle, for example, is LA Late. So to tag LA Late is at LALATE. And if you go on Twitter and you search for Purple Power, you'll see other people tagging things. So you can follow how other people are tagging, and you'll learn how to tag as well. Understand, tagging me is not. Some people just tag me and no one else. I'm like, well, that's really nice, but I'm not ringing your bell. I'm telling you who to tag, so that there you are. What a night it is. Finally, an unusual message that I have to throw in somewhere. I have seen some people that have been lured in by some organizations that are telling them to use them to apply for stimulus items, and that if you use them to apply for stimulus items, they will get you fortunes of money, but you first have to pay them money. Um, Thank you, thank you, Pucker Up, for becoming a Purple Hawk. Really, really appreciate it. Long time viewer. Thank you, Pucker Up. Very, very kind of you. Um, I've seen no less than two viewers who have been lured in by organizations, not from this channel, not from the comments of this channel, but somewhere else, telling them they will help them get stimulus items, but first they have to pay them a lot of money, $300, $400, $500. That is not. If you think that that is normal, then I suggest you to call up the federal agency that you're applying for that instrument, because they will tell you what the law is on that. These are federal instruments with federal laws, and so if someone is telling you to pay them money to get you money, then you need to reach out to them, to the federal government, for guidance about that. Moreover, if you think you don't really qualify for something, you probably don't qualify for something. And the fact that you found someone online who's living in a social media platform to tell you that you do qualify for enormous sums of money, if you think it sounds too good, it's probably too good. I'll be posting, thank you, Julio, for the reminder. I will be posting the PDFs right after this video, and you will find them on youtube.com/community, the community page, this channel. Make sure you've hit that bell on the front of the channel, because if you do, then you'll get an email alert as well when the PDFs are posted. Again, they're posted on the community page of this YouTube channel, not the lalate.com community page, but the community page, and only members can see them. But if you've also set up if you also hit the bell on the front of this channel, that yellow bell, that alert bell, then you'll get an email to your email account on file that says, "Hi, LLA just shared for you a member's post," and you'll actually be able to open the link from inside the email. There you go. Thank you for joining me for Evenings LA. I'll see you next at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time with Hazard Pay. Thank you for joining me. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Click the member link. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay LA for more.